Hi, friends. Welcome back to another live author chat brought to you by Sisters Reviewing Books. I am Amber, and this is my sister Crystal. I don't know where she is on your screen. I think maybe over here.
I'm over here.
Well, she's the one that says Crystal next to her. We are featured blockers for the Coastal Magic Convention. For anybody new here, the Coastal Magic Convention is a super fun and intimate reader and author weekend happening in Daytona Beach, February 19th through the 22nd of next year. Every couple of weeks, we strive to bring you an author chat. That way, we can get to know some of our featured authors and become really fast friends once we hit the beach in February. Tonight, we had the pleasure of speaking with award-winning and international best-selling author Eliza Knight. Spoiler alert. Crystal and I just finished Confessions of a Grammar Queen not too long ago, and we are obsessed. We love it. So I can't wait to hear all about that book and all of your other works in just a little bit. We're going to kick it over to Crystal and let her explain bingo so everybody can participate at home. And then we'll get to all things Eliza.
Awesome. Thank you, Amber. Yeah. So bingo. The bingo card for tonight, the link was posted on the promo post for the chat. And you just get a card and kind of follow along and cross things off. We want you to win bingo, so it should be incredibly easy. I even brought it down to a 4x4 square this time. And you can pretty much make all the squares work by the end of the chat, hopefully. And so you let us know you have bingo. I am changing it up a little bit. You can put the bingo on the post that I made. When I post the video, you can put it there. And I will do a drawing on Sunday, and the drawing will be for an ebook of Eliza Knight's. And again, Amber, we've loved, as Amber said, we love Confessions of Grammar Queen, so I highly suggest that one. But I'm sure they're all awesome. So yeah, did I cover everything, Amber? Keep my brain together for me. Okay.
That's a big feat, but I will try.
Okay, so then I think if that's all the housekeeping, we can go ahead and introduce Eliza. So, hi, Eliza. We're so excited to have you here with us tonight. We're so excited that you are a featured author for Coastal Magic already. Cannot wait to read more of your books. So, we'd love to let you introduce yourself and just tell a little bit about what you write.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with you guys, and I cannot wait for February. It's going to be so much fun and get to meet you guys in person and all the readers. It's going to be awesome. So, a little bit about me. I write historical romance, historical fiction, and most recently, I also started writing contemporary revenge fiction under the name Michelle Brandon. So, you may find that in your local store as well. I am a Florida resident, so I'm going to be traveling from the Sarasota area over to Daytona Beach in February, and I'm excited to get to another beach. I love beaches so much. So that's a little bit about me. I don't know what else you guys want to know.
Oh, we're going to get to know it all in just a minute. Don't you?
Awesome.
So yeah, we the way it works, we pretty much try to get a mix of talking about your books and just kind of getting to know you a little bit because one of the things about the reading challenge, we know each other really well, we chat stuff, and we love to really know our authors before we get to the convention. It just makes for an awesome time. So
I love that.
my first question though is, did you say contemporary revenge fiction?
Yes.
Can you speak about that for a minute?
Yes. So my book is I was trying to figure out like what genre it was because it is suspense. It's kind of thriller-ish, thriller-esque, if you will. But really what it is, it's revenge. And my second novel that comes out next year is also a revenge novel. So I feel like that is what these books are. So that book by Michelle Brandon is called Rush Week. And it is about four sorority sisters who are being pulled back to their alma mater for blackmail. And when they were in college, they sort of ruled the school and their sorority, and they did a lot of bad things that they recorded in a spill book and also forced some of their other sisters to record their bad deeds into the spill book too. And now someone has stolen it and basically wants to ruin their lives. So they have to come back to college and like figure out who stole it and stop them before all of their secrets come out and ruin their adult lives.
Ooh, sounds fun.
Kind of gives
Yes.
me I know what you did last summer
Yes.
vibes.
Yeah, yeah, a lot like that. It's like some people have said it's like Mean Girls meets the White Lotus. I've heard I know what you did last summer. I've heard like Gossip Girl. It's very juicy. It's girls being bad and like very scandalous, unlikable heroines, but I love them all. So
Okay. That's fun. And I guess that could kind of change it for at least a small conversation about inspiration, because I thought I read that that one was inspired by something, like something TikTok related or whatever. So where do you get some of, do you things like that? Where do you get your inspiration for some of these, especially these revenge
Yes.
books?
So that one came from my interest in the Bama Rush Talk on TikTok. I was sort of like obsessed with all those videos, and I still do. I watch all of them. And I was really excited because a couple of months ago, Colin Darnell, who is like a huge sorority Rush Talk influencer, she promoted my book on her page, which was really awesome. But I love the drama of it and the scandal behind it, and also like the the way women and young women sort of feel like they have to perform. And that really interested me. So I kind of was like, oh, really fun to write like a book like that. But I wanted to make it juicy. And when I sent it to my editor, she was like, make it even juicier. So it was a challenge and super fun, but I enjoyed it. And my next revenge novel, which is called Tradwife, is also inspired by TikTok as well. But my historicals are often inspired by things that happen in history, which could also, I mean, history's cool. We could make that viral on TikTok too, right?
Well, I mean, it's funny you say that, because I was not a fan of history in high school. I'm a math teacher. Math is my thing, so history was like the opposite. And I have found in the past, and then again in reading your books, I'm
Oh,
sorry, I have found that I enjoy historical fiction a lot. I enjoy getting that like dose of like something. I'm more intrigued by it. It's like I'm actually care about the history, and I start looking things up because I'm like, oh, well, let me go look that up, or let me go read on that.
yeah.
So I do enjoy, I think it's like you said, you can make it, you can like just it, you totally can make it viral because it pulls me in. It's like watching a
Hey. Well,
documentary, a quick
it's like,
documentary.
yeah, it's like real life drama, right? Like that's just the drama that was happening back then. So,
So let's talk really quickly about some of the inspiration behind Confessions of a Grammar Queen, since Amber and I read that and loved it so much. And obviously have some questions, and I have a funny story in a moment. But Bernadette Swift, did you mention you had said that I don't know if she's a fictional character, but did she have some influence from
yes.
someone real?
Yeah. So I based Bernadette on two different women in history who I found to be completely fascinating. One is Eleanor Gould Packard, and she was known as the grammarian for the New Yorker. And I gave her title the grammarian to Bernadette Swift in the office because I just thought that was like such a cool like title to have. But her story is sort of like a really awesome mic drop moment that when I read about it, I was like, okay, I have to use this somehow in a book for a character. So in the 50s, Eleanor was recently graduated from college and she wanted to be a copy editor. And so she went to the New Yorker, she applied for a job. They said no, thank you. But she really felt like she had talent and that she should be working there. So to prove her point, she went to a kiosk, picked up a printed New Yorker magazine, took it home, took a red pen to it, brought it back and said, I've copy edited your printed published magazine. Now, what do you think about giving me a job? And they were like, you're hired. So I thought, that is awesome. And she worked there until she was almost I mean, I think she was early 90s when she finally retired. She was a monster. I mean, like, there's this book that a lot of copy editors, writers use called the White and Strunk book. And she was one of the editors for that because it was just like, she's just a trailblazer, really. And then the second person that I based her off of is Phyllis E. Grand. She's still alive today, and she was the first female CEO of a publishing house. And Bernadette's goal in the book is to become, you know, the first female CEO of a publishing house. And so I based a lot of her history on Phyllis. She unfortunately didn't become a CEO until 1985 or 87. So it was quite a while past the book that happened in real life. But she did go to Barnard College. She did start out, you know, as a junior editor, and her character. I actually based Bernadette's best friend Penelope on Phyllis in the book, so that she kind of had like her little moment in there as well.
Everybody had a little moment in this book,
It
and I loved
did.
it so much. It was like kept going, you're not going to make me cry. I'm not going to get emotional. It's a book. It's fine. And then something else good would happen. I'd be like, no, no, okay, it's fine. It's fine. And then the very last thing, and I just lost it. So
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry I made you cry, but also
they were such good tears. They really were. They were really good tears.
I'm glad.
Amber and I don't always like we enjoy reading and talking about books together, but some of the things that I get out of a book and enjoy aren't always her favorite and vice versa. And so I remember reading this book and I was thinking as I was ahead of her, I was like, she's gonna love this book. Like I love that you took such a serious the concept in such a serious time and you didn't like lighten it, but there was a light story around it. There was a fun, there were characters and there was, you know,
Yeah, it
celebration,
was very
womanhood, and it just
interesting how you did that. It was it had heavy topics in it, all the what women were going through, and yet somehow, it was just Bernadette was such a, she was gonna fix it and she was gonna get to where she was going. So, all that other stuff kind of fell to the wayside. I'm also really big into romance, and it took me a while before I finally be like, hey, where is that guy at? I'm so in to her story and what she was doing and fighting the man, that I didn't even I forgot about the romance for just a split second. So great. It's well done.
Thank you so much. It was kind of a challenge, sort of, to make the story more light. And I mean, the thing is, like, we go through a lot of things in life anyway that are really heavy, right? But we always have to try to look for that silver lining or the bright light, or put some levity into it so that we're not just, I mean, we'd all be crying all the time, right? So I felt like that was really important to put in the book so that it was a happy read. There's bad things happening, but we're finding that silver lining. We're having some laughs along the way.
So good.
And I feel like you did that in Can't We Be Friends as well a little bit. Like that was a heavy story. Like towards the end, I'll admit, like it was heavy. Like, Marilyn Monroe did not have necessarily, it was not the happiest story when you really get inside her head from even a fictional standpoint. But I think that, the beauty of her having a friendship and the possibility of her having a friendship and somebody that she could share things with and that she could be herself with was that kind of shone throughout the book. And it lightened that heavy topic. So
I'm glad you felt that way. I think that, like, for me personally, even friendships are so important. And, those are your people that you can tell anything to. You can just sit down and laugh until your stomach's hurt, or you can cry, or you can vent, or you can just go have fun, whatever it is. And I think that one of the themes that often ends up being in pretty much every book I've written is friendship, just because I think it's such an important part of life.
agreed. And that definitely came through. So I feel like we've touched on a lot of things. And I have so many more questions, but I do want to tell, if it's okay, a very quick story, and I will try to make this
Yes.
quick. Amber
It's
can cut
not
me
going to
off.
be quick because
I will give it quick. So
Okay.
the short of it is that I started this book on on a Saturday morning after I had it was an audio, and I had missed my ADHD medicine the night before, and that is very important because I need you to understand I listen to my books at a high rate of speed because I talk fast, think fast for the most part. But I was not thinking so fast when I started it. And I hadn't read the back of the book, and since the challenge started, this book had been on my TBR since like June. And I'd honestly kind of forgotten what it was about. And so to me, it looked like this like contemporary romance on the front. And I'm just
I
listening.
honestly didn't realize it was set in the 60s either. And
Okay,
she
well, see,
says it
I
for
haven't,
just a split
right?
second. It's a one sentence, a girl in the 60s. Okay.
Well, so I listened to, I'm driving that morning and I'm listening. I listened to, I won't even tell you, it's embarrassing how far into this book I got. And so Amber and she calls and I go, well, I'm really enjoying it. I said, but man, this author's lying really heavily on like, inequality of women and men. And I know that's still out there, but I just thought it was
She's
better
like, I know
than
it's
you.
bad. She's like,
Right.
but men wouldn't say that out loud anymore.
I
Like,
know.
you're not allowed to say that. And I was like, well, they wouldn't in the 60s, Crystal. She was like,
Well, I
what?
hadn't quite got there yet.
It makes sense.
So I told her that. I was like, I'm reading it and I'm telling her, I said, and something about I remembered briefly, like I think she couldn't rent an apartment because I'm like, where is she living? And Amber says to me kind of as a throw off comment, she's like, well, isn't it set in the 60s? And I was about to say something and I went,
No, I wanted to know if it was the 60s all the way through because I had just started. And I don't read the back of the books either. It just looked like a
Yeah.
cute book and I wanted to read it. And I was like, is it the 60s all the way through? Is it a modern day book? What am I reading here? And she was like, what? The 60s?
And then I was like, oh my gosh, her brother is in war.
She's like, I remember they mentioned the Cold War and Vietnam tension. So I was like, yeah, that's
I really need to stress that when I miss, like, 'cause I take my ADHD medicine at night and I don't realize it until I wake up in the morning and I am like a fuzz. My head brain is like fuzz. So
I
honestly,
got to listen to where she was at in the book, listening to it as if I didn't know that it was set back then. And just, I giggled all the way through it. I made my husband like listen to parts of the book. Like, now just picture if you thought this was set in present day.
Yeah.
And the whole like doing the apartment, I was texting her, I was like, are you insane?
and as
Like,
soon as
dystopian world is this?
She talked about the Equal Pay Act. I was like,
I know,
parallel universe did you think we were in? And Crystal's the smartest person I know. I will say that straight off the bat. And she remembers details like you would not believe. So the fact that she missed this very pivotal detail, I was like, are you okay? Do you need to go get checked
I was
out?
not. I probably should not have been driving. I was like, clearly, I am not firing. So I listened to the next chapter on the drive home because I was at someone's house, and and I told her, I said, I know I would have heard this chapter and realized what was going on.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I got it. But it was so funny. And the other thing that was funny though to me is, again, not really knowing if how much romance was in the book and all. And so your narrator for the female all of a sudden switched to a male narration, and the male narration was very, I don't know, it felt like New Jersey. It felt like there's just like this, like it was heavy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if this is like the love interest, I can't.
I could imagine this guy being like all lovey-dovey, and it's the dog. It's this big Great Dane, lovable, just doofus of a dog, and that's whose voice it is, not the love interest. So
Yes, and
That's
I was
pretty
very
funny though, if you
interested.
think about it that way.
I was all confused. Please, somebody else listen to this book and then comment.
I wanna listen to it thinking like that because I think there's even like Frank's first chapter. He's like says something like, "Yeah,
Yes.
that she's my girl."
yes, and
I
I
mentioned that.
I was like, Eliza had never read you before, and I'm just like, I don't know, like, where is she living? Like, I know I'm a teacher and we're in a different world, like, when it comes to the workforce, but what is going on where
But
she's
this is how pure Crystal is. She's still like, I'm really enjoying the book. I like it a lot. And I'm like, how could you like this? I would be like so infuriated if this was the year 2025 and this girl had to bring her brother
That's too
in to
funny.
rent her apartment. I would be like, no, where are you?
so
Oh, God bless
that
you.
was, I have told so many people this story, people who know me. I'm just like, I was reading this book and I was so many
That's
chapters
so
in
funny.
before I even realized it was the 1960s. So it definitely made a lot more sense after I realized where it was set, and I think I would have figured it out after that. Can I ask about the inspiration behind like having the dog's point of view? Like,
And
what
also, we're going to time that, but I'm pretty sure that was not a short story, but go ahead.
6 minutes? I think I did it okay.
I think it was a hilarious story. So I have written before Confessions a book called The Queen's Faithful Companion, and it's about Elizabeth II and her dog Susan. And Susan was the matriarch of all the corgis that the Queen ever had until she passed away. And Susan was a gift to her on her 18th birthday from her father. So I just wanted to, like, first of all, I just went down a rabbit hole of like, why is the Queen obsessed with corgis? And like, she's had a relationship with corgis like her whole life. This is amazing. And then I wanted to kind of examine like, what is a relationship like that like? And it felt like the only way I could do that was to write from the dog's point of view as well. So that book has Susan's point of view. And I had so much fun doing that my next book that I was plotting was Confessions of a Grammar Queen. And I was on book tour and I was visiting my older daughter. She was at the Ohio State at the time, and I have to add the. I always tell everyone, like, I make sure to add the in there. And we went to a bar and we were just having drinks, and this dog walked into the bar, and everyone was like, "Hey Frank, what's up? And do you want some of my water? Do you want a French fry?" And the dog is just like walking around the bar and indulging in treats and greeting the guests. And I was like, who is this dog? Where is his owner? Well, as it turns out, the owner was outside at like the courtyard area with his other dog that was also like working that crowd. But I was like, oh my gosh, this dog is such a character. I feel like I need to put this dog in a book. And I was plotting out Bernadette's story at the time, and I thought, you know what? That could be really fun to add in some humor into like the heavier story. And also, like, I just really wanted to put that dog into a book, and I thought he would be like the perfect character to be her sidekick. You know, there's a lot of antics that he gets into, and a little bit of saving the day. And I that was the inspiration behind having Frank in that book. So he was like a real dog that I met.
Oh, that's
Oh,
adorable. And I did enjoy him. Like once I realized it was a dog, I was like, okay. And it was always kind of fun to get his point of view and see how he
yes,
was
and him and
thinking.
the cat, what was cat's name?
Yes.
Darn it, Mr. Cookies or
Mr.
name.
Crumbles. Mr.
Crumbles. There we go. Yeah, Cookie Crumble. That's how I remembered it.
And yeah, no, go away. Speaking of, do you have any pets since
I
we like to
do.
get to know you a little bit?
So, my I have one dog now. I used to have another dog. She passed away earlier this year, and her personality is really a lot of what inspired Frank's personality as well. She was very bossy, and pretty much thought she was the ruler of this house. But so I just have my one dog now. She's also very sweet, and I have a hermit crab that
Mhm.
has been alive for 6 years. You would not believe it. It's still an insane crab. It climbs the side of the glass, like it puts its little claws into the glue and then climbs the glue to the grate and then like goes across. And then we also have a turtle, but the turtle has moved out to my older daughter's apartment. And so it's probably better with him there because he likes to skateboard, which I know sounds really we like attached a skateboard to him, and it's better that he does it there because here I'm always freaking out that the dogs are gonna be like, ah, you know, and do
Jason.
something not nice. And then I have a grand cat. She is very cranky. I love her. Her name is Sookie, and she is named after the character Sookie from True Blood. Um, yeah, those are my pets.
How long do you know how long hermit crabs typically live for?
So normally I feel like the ones you get at the beach stores are like, you know, a week. But I looked it up at one point and it was a long time. Like I'll probably have this crab for like I could have it for a couple of decades, I think.
Oh wow.
It's the same thing with the turtle. Like I'll
Yeah.
probably die before the turtle.
Do you have to feed the, sorry, do you have to feed the hermit crab? And what do you
Yes.
feed the hermit? We have other people interested in the hermit crabs, so
Yes, yes, yes.
it's not just me, but what do you feed these things?
So the crab, his habitat, the sand that I use is actually coconut. It's made from coconut. So he basically lives in a utopia of coconut and he eats his sand.
Oh
And
my
then,
God, he's like Willy Wonka and the
yeah,
Charlie Factory, just
he's like
whatever he
living his
wants.
life. Yes. And
Love
then I
it.
also cut up fruit for him. He loves watermelon. He loves apples. I'm just saying he, it could be a she. Its
Oh,
name
you
is
don't even
actually
know? Would a
Sandy.
vet be able to tell you if he was a
I don't
boy?
know.
Or
I don't
what
know.
do you mean he's gonna
Probably
tell
because
you?
if you think about like regular crabs, they have like the different triangles on the bottom.
All
So
right.
maybe I'll take a picture and I'll look it up online.
Hey,
Um,
do a little research for us
yeah,
and let us
yeah.
know. We'll be
And
waiting.
I used to put hermit crab food in there as well, but it never ate it. It just ate the sand and the fruit. So I was like, well, and it's been alive for a really long time and obviously very strong. So I think that's fine. And
Jennifer
then
Morris would like to know if he's changed out of his shell.
yes, a lot. And we just have like lots of different sizes of shells in there so that when he's ready, he can go in there. Because the other thing that's creepy about them is they will bury themselves for like a month or two. And that's when they're like changing out their exoskeleton. And so for like a month or two, a few times a year, I'm like, is he dead? Is he coming back? I never smell anything. Obviously, he's still alive. So, um, but yeah, this past month, he just came out this week. And I was like, okay, is it gone? I don't know. But he's back.
I want to come back as your hermit crab in my next life. It sounds lovely. You've got
So
little
crazy.
houses. Whenever
Yes.
I move and vacation and food everywhere, you cut up fresh fruits. You let me sleep for weeks at a time.
He's real.
Sign me up. Very cool.
Never knew I'd want to be a hermit crab. There we go. Um, okay, so that was I guess while we're on, because like I said, this time flies by. So let's ask another question real quick, just about you, just to get to know you. So what other hobbies do you have? Because it seems like I've noticed you do a lot of stuff with history. So you are welcome to talk about that too. So do you what is that a true hobby of yours, or and what are some other things you like to do?
Yes, I love history. So like if you tell me there's a historical documentary that I like, I'm absolutely going to go watch that tonight. Um, there's, any sort of museum, I'm there, even if I've been there a million times before. I like to travel and look at different historical things, even if it's like a local historical site. I love to do stuff like that. But on a normal basis, I obviously love reading. I read every day. I do audiobooks, I do Kindle books, I do paper, hardback, pretty much anything I can read. That's something that I love. And then something that I've started doing in January of this year is like weightlifting. And now I'm kind of obsessed with it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I know. I'm like in the gym with the gym bros. And it's so weird because that's not ever anything that I've like done before. And I really, really love it. So,
I
and
love that.
yeah, my older daughter and my husband both go too. So it's like family thing that we do together.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I also love cooking. So I do a lot of like cooking or baking. Um, I like to go to the beach and like either just sit there and read, which is actually my favorite thing to do, or swim. I love swimming.
Awesome.
Oh, you have a lot of hobbies. That's awesome. It's
Thank you.
exciting.
I wish I had more time for them.
I know that's what I always tell people because like somebody recently was telling me about, I hear like you start talking about things. I I love to let people talk about what they're passionate about. But they're like K-pop Demon Hunter, you have to watch it. And I said, no. And I said, here's why. I don't need anything else. I there's no more room for anything else. I was like, you can tell me all about it and I will appreciate it, but I am out of time. I need sleep.
Yes, sleep is so important,
Yes.
especially like women our age. Like we're supposed to get a lot of sleep right now. We're supposed to be like teenagers again.
Oh
And it's
God, I
hard to do.
can't. I'm like, if I average 5, I'm like, that's a good night, man.
Yeah.
Ugh, yeah.
It's definitely getting sleep is challenging, and then things like working out and all too, like fitting those in around. But it's like I just want to read, not because I want to be lazy, but I just want to read this book. Like
Yeah.
it's not a I just want to lay in my pajamas all day. I just want to read the book. So
I
it's
sometimes listen to audiobooks, I'm not kidding, like while I'm like pumping iron and I'm like,
Mhm.
it's like in my ear, like it might be like a sexy scene or something. And I'm
Oh
like,
no.
anyone like they can't hear this, right?
No, 100%. I do that. The only place I won't listen to my audiobooks that I did listen to Can't We Be Friends a bit at school today because I wanted to finish it.
Yeah.
And I felt like that one was pretty safe.
Yeah.
But I can't because my fear is that electronics are going to rebound on me and I'm going to be like in the middle of a lesson and it's going to connect to my phone and
Yeah,
it's
that would be so
going to be
bad.
like,
I mean, I
How
have
is
had that
that?
happen with I listen in the mornings and then we go get in the car and it
Yes.
connects and my kid is in the car and it is an obscene scene and I'm trying to stop it and thank God he is in his own world half the time because it's terrible. What's
Yep.
going on?
That
and they're
happens to
trying to
me.
tell, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that happens to me too. And my youngest is 16 and she's like, oh, Mom, God.
It's one of the benefits to listening really fast is because usually by the time the person that I'm with can figure out what it's saying, I'm like, okay, I got it off.
Yeah.
But
I
I'm
have
like,
to know what you listen at. What's the speed?
I mean, I average about 1.7.
Okay, I
And
do
I was probably
1.5.
I usually start a book when I'm getting used to a narrator and everything. I usually start a book at like 1.4,
Mhm.
and then just sort of inch my way up. And that morning, my brain was so like the go back to the story thing was so fuzzy that it just didn't matter. I could have been listening at 1.2 and it would have. I was getting all the big ideas, but I wasn't. Yeah, clearly I missed a whole lot. Um,
She really is a details person. That's why it's random. But
I
anyway.
know. And Amber wrote me. I'll have to send you a screenshot of her text message
Yeah.
when she was like, "Can I ask what chapter you were on?" I will not admit to anyone else what chapter I was on, but when I told her, she was like, "Crystal,"
She
I was
wasn't
like,
that far along, but she was far enough. There were plenty. Like you wrote a very rich world of this is the 1960s. So again, I was like, are you okay?
I
Seriously.
clearly I was
think it's so
picking up
funny
on
though.
it
It
because
changes the whole book.
I was at least questioning the author. I was like, "Okay, well, where are you?"
She said he
Um,
wrote a letter. Like, what year are we in? I'm like, the 60s somewhere. Come
totally.
on.
Um,
Too
it's
funny.
Okay.
it's all about reading books. Yeah, Jody, I don't watch much TV either. Jody just said she doesn't watch a whole lot of TV. And I want to watch like documentaries and all. Like you mentioned that. And so I told them about Marilyn Monroe the other day. I was reading this book. And so they start, telling me about this documentary. And so I'm like, oh, I want to watch that. And I watched a little bit of it and I'll probably will later, but it's just, I'm like, but I could be reading a book right now. Like I could read because I saw your book about the one with the dog, the queen. And I was like, oh, I want to read that one too. So I'd rather read the
I
book.
don't know. I like a little TV, so
I like TV too. I watch, like I said, documentaries, and then my husband and I will like pick something and binge it maybe.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, we do that.
they're like action stuff. Like right, we just started last night, so we were only one episode in. This it's called Task, and we're like big Marvel fans. So Mark Ruffalo, who plays the Hulk, is an FBI agent in this show. So that was the only reason we even picked it to watch. But it's pretty good.
That's one of the TV time for me is time with my husband, whatever
Yeah.
something we watch together because I don't watch a whole lot. I would watch a lot more again if there was more time in the world because I do think that's its own, medium and it's fun. But I enjoy
Yeah,
reading
I
stuff
rarely watch anything by myself. My youngest daughter loves documentaries, so she watches a lot of documentaries with me. And then my oldest and I love that show Love Island. It's so garbage, but I love it so much. And we'll watch that together. So it's
I
usually
watch all the bad reality
like,
TV, so I'm right there. I could tell you, we could talk all about Love Island.
I love that show.
Okay, so I feel like let me see if I go. Um,
I want to hear. Can we hear about her writing process,
that was going to be my next one.
Eliza?
Just
Yeah, about
especially
that.
interested in the research aspect of some of the books that have, such an inspiration or some basis
Right,
in
because
reality.
not just the 60s, but you do the Scottish, right? You do Scottish
Yeah.
historical. So lots
Yeah,
of
so the research process for the book is basically like once I find an event or a time period, then I try to find anything that I can read on it. So like for the copy editing portion and a little bit of history behind those jobs, I read this amazing book called what is it? Between You and Me, Confessions of a Comma Queen, and the author was Mary Norris. And it's a really good book if you're like a word nerd and you love stuff like that. I would suggest, obviously, it's nonfiction, but that was a great book to learn about what a copy editor does. Because even though I'm a writer, like I don't necessarily know what a copy editor. I mean, I just know what they tell me to do. But so that was like a really great research tool for that book. And then obviously figuring out everything I could about the 1960s to bring that to life, like, music of the time, what the clothing looked like, what sort of things were going on culturally in the world, and then also what was like popular culture, like what movies are popular right now, what are the cool shows out, what are people drinking at the bar, stuff like that, just so that the world itself comes alive because it's different than now. And then for Scotland, it's the same sort of thing. I have tons of research books on Scotland. I have a lot of giant like coffee table books, I think you might call them, but they have like the history of the clans and the culture, and then massive pictures and paintings and things like that in there that you can kind of immerse yourself in. And then obviously some nonfiction books about the different periods of time in Scotland that I focused on. So like the wars for independence with William Wallace and Robert the Bruce, and then the Jacobite era, which if you're not familiar with that, think about like Outlander, that was during that time period. So I have a lot of books on that. And then most recently, so next month have a book coming out called The Scots Perfect Match. And that takes place in like the Regency era of Scotland, which was a lot like what was going on in the Regency era of England, except the rules were not as stringent. So I like that setting because I didn't have to follow as many rules as I would if I set it in London. But yeah, it's a lot of like reading, obviously. And if I can find a documentary, I'll watch that. And then I've been to all of the places that I write about. So I spent a lot of time in New York. So it was really fun to bring Bernadette's story to life. When I was working on that book, I visited the New York Public Library so I could make sure I had a feel for, when you enter and you've got this columns everywhere and these massive stairs and everything. And I've been to Scotland a lot and London, and I've been to Buckingham Palace and Windsor and everything like from the Corgi book. So if I can get my feet on the ground, that's like amazing. And I've been really, really fortunate that I've been able to do that. But if I can't, like, for example, during COVID, my book, I was writing a book called The Mayfair Bookshop, and it was about a London bookshop and an author who actually lived during the World War II and worked in that bookshop. And I was writing about her, and I had these grand plans of going because the bookstore has an apartment above that people still can rent. So I thought, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be great to write the book about her, like right above the bookshop where she worked? And then COVID happened, so I couldn't do it. And so I ended up having to write that book completely from research books, contacting the British Museum, contacting the British Library, contacting the BBC to get transcripts of different like radio shows they put out, because there was a funny part that I came across in my research that she had done a radio show and people called in to complain they hated her voice so much, so she got fired.
Oh, goodness.
Good, good.
So there's just like rabbit holes that I'll fall down and then just go figure out what, you know, what is the meaning behind this and all of that. And obviously, like, it's all fiction, so I have to fill in the blanks a lot. Like with Marilyn Monroe and Ella Fitzgerald, we knew that they had a friendship because we had pictures. There was an album that they had signed to do together called Friends, and it never came about. And so we thought, well, that's really strange. They were clearly friends. Something happened. The album didn't come out. What happened, and what was their friendship about? And not a lot was written. It's just like little pieces here and there that you would find, like letters from their secretaries, little notes that people might have said something about it, or the fact that they were both in the same city in London, you know, both in London at the exact same time. So stuff like that, where you kind of have to then, you know, see what's going on around and then make those conjectures and turn it into fiction. So that's what the research process is like. And then I'm a huge spreadsheet queen. My oldest daughter, because she thinks she's so funny, got me a wine glass that says "freak in the sheets," and it's got like an Excel spreadsheet on it. And it's true. I love an Excel spreadsheet.
I want to get that for DeLorean. She's
Yeah.
They
also
are
a freak
they
in the.
are really cool though when you get to like really doing something with them and you can
Yeah.
find, like, I have a spreadsheet for the reading challenge that I like check boxes, and it comes up with my points, and I'm like, this thing is amazing.
Perfect. I use it to plot my books, and also to keep my research in one place. And so I've like, each book gets its own spreadsheet with all the tabs and everything, and I am obsessed with it. And and that's where everything kind of goes, like the whole plot broken down by chapter. I am a plotter, so I like to know exactly what's going to happen. But I'm also right, like if I'm writing and things need to change, I'm not like so married to my original idea that I can't change it, because I feel like the characters, like, I get to know them as I'm writing, and things change a lot.
Okay.
And then I would say my first drafts are like, I would call them like bare bones. So I'm like really getting the story out. And then I need to go back through and fill in all like the flesh and the meat and everything, where it's like the emotions and the details and things like that. So I guess I'm like a layered writer. Because that's for me like where all the magic happens and all like the beauty of the sentences come alive, and the characters really speak to me, is in that editing phase. And a lot of people are like, no, that's the worst part. I'm like, that's my favorite part. Like, I love digging in there and like tearing it up and making it look beautiful all over again.
Yeah, we do hear a lot that the editing is an author's least favorite part. So it's interesting that that's yours. But also, a lot of the people we speak to, I feel like, are not plotters.
Oh, really?
They're kind of more pansies. Like, and then they might have a loose, outline, but they're definitely not doing spreadsheets with, 10 tabs and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So
I'm a little bit type A, just,
just a tiny bit. Yeah.
Well, I think that might kind of go. I mean, it's needed with all the research and all that you need to do, because I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I
have to
think,
keep it in order.
yeah, and I think even though, I can see the beauty in the writing the Maryland book, like that you have to do some research and have some I mean, you can't just mention all this stuff without having some,
Yeah.
some
Well,
evidence.
no, there will be somebody that reads it and tries to call you out on
Yeah.
it too. Like,
So I
somebody knows their
Yes.
information. So
so much so I want to squeeze in one more quick question. What's a book on your TBR right now that as soon as you're able to, you can't wait to sit down and read?
So I just started yesterday. It's called Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter, and I love a good thriller.
I love
And
Karen Slaughter. She's good.
so good, and I'm already like halfway through it because I keep stopping to listen. So that I'm excited to do. My husband went to pick up our daughter from band, and so I'm gonna have like a half an hour before they get home, and I'll be like jamming out to that book. It's
Yeah.
really really good.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
she's good. So I have a friend who's like addicted to her stuff and reads it all. So
So good.
awesome. Well, we're gonna start our wrap up and let you just kind of let everybody know where they can find you. And I'm just gonna say, y'all, we have so many more questions. Eliza's been awesome to talk to. And just remember, if you come to Coastal Magic, she'll be on some panels, so you'll get to hear all kinds of answers to all kinds of questions there. But we'll let you go ahead and wrap up and just kind of tell us what you're working on right now and where people can find you if they're interested in, checking out your books and just kind of being in touch.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So my website is elizaknight.com, and then I am on Instagram at Eliza Knight Fiction. I think it's the same at Facebook at Eliza Knight Fiction. I also have a podcast called History, Books, and Wine, and that's pretty much anywhere you can listen to a podcast, you'll find it there. And then what I'm working on right now is I have copy edits in for my book called Tradwife that comes out next year. And I just finished the copy edits on my book that comes out next year called Lost in the Summer of '69, which is also in the 60s. And it has 3 different storylines, one of which is a romance line between a young woman who's just, coming of age, like she's going off to college, an older woman who's reminiscing about her past, and then a woman who is struggling with her marriage and trying to find the love again. But basically, the premise of that book is that a grandmother has been recently diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and she, in her youth, was the belle of wartime music, and so she wants to relive her musical career. So she takes off to go to all these music festivals of the 1960s, including Woodstock. And she becomes so famous, she's being called the Dame of Rock and Roll. She's on all the radio stations. And the mom and the daughter are basically chasing her across the US, trying to figure out, where is grandma and what the heck is she doing? And that's when the young girl falls in love with a journalist. So it was such a fun story, and I just got to revisit that with the copy edit, so I loved it.
Yay. I'm excited.
But
I saw that one, so I'm glad we got to speak about it because I wanted to know more.
I'm still teetering as whether or not I'm going to make a mad dash and try to read all the authors. It's probably not going to happen, but my brain is just like, maybe I can still do it. And I don't think so because there's so many of your books I want to read. So we'll see.
Well, and the thing is, like, I've written so many books that, like, I feel like one person could be like, I'm only reading Eliza for the rest of my life, and then you'd be fulfilled. So
No,
I don't
you
like
just
that,
have to
'cause there are like other great authors out there, but
No,
you just have to keep coming back to Coastal Magic so
yeah,
you can
we can
always have a good
I mean,
reason to fit you in.
I
yes.
would love that. I would absolutely love that.
Well, we're excited. We're so excited to have you, and we're so thankful that you're willing to join us tonight and just kind of chat about your books and about you and get to know you a little bit more. So we're definitely looking forward to it. Amber said next year. I feel like it's around the corner. I mean, October is
I'm
like,
trying not to think about how close Christmas actually is, you guys. So February is so far away. It's like months and months and months. We have so much time to fit in all the books and do all the things. So
going
Yeah,
to be here before we know it. And it's a wonderful convention, and I'm sure it's going to be awesome to see you in person. So
I
yes, it
can't
will.
wait. Yeah, I'm excited to meet you guys in person and to chat some more. This was really, really fun.
Awesome. You guys, don't
and
forget if you get bingo to drop a comment.
yes, I will
Or
post
you
this
can
video tonight or tomorrow, sometime between tonight and tomorrow, early tomorrow. And if you'll post on it that you got bingo,
on
basically,
the Sisters Reviewing Books Facebook page.
yes, yes.
Okay. Or if
Um,
that doesn't work, send us a message somewhere and we'll put you in for the drawing. And Crystal will do that drawing on Sunday.
Sunday, yes. And I'm going to hold myself to it by posting in the winner because I need to do that. Sorry about the cat, y'all. Okay. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, everybody, tonight. We appreciate it. And can't wait to see everybody the next time we do one of these. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.